Now, lot 174, gentlemen. The Cayman Penny Blue. And I don't think I need to say anything more about it than that. The Cayman Penny Blue. So I'll take the bidding at $1 million, please. $1 million. $1 million. $1.5 million. $2 million. $2 million. $2.5 million. $2.5 million. $3 million. $3 million. $3.5 million. $4 million. $4 million. $4.5 million. $5 million. $5 million. $5.5 million. $6 million. $6 million. $6 million. $6.5 million. $7 million. $7 million. $7.5 million. $7.5 million. $8 million. $8 million. $8 million. $8 million. $8 million back. Thank you. And now, lot 175, another Cayman Blue. Anyone?
First-class stamps are to go up to 12p. That's 2p for postage and 10p for storage.
Air safety. In new regulations put into force today, the Federal Aviation Authority have withdrawn 20% of all aeroplanes and put them out to stud.
Do go on.
Well, the lights went out first, and then the no smoking and the fasten seatbelt sign came on, and then everything just dropped, really.
Now, it was after 3 weeks without food that you finally decided that you had to...
Yes. We put it off for as long as we possibly could.
It was just essential, for survival. Food was essential, and so we had a couple of meetings. I think if it had not been a total vote in favour, that we would have...
Yeah.
And who took the lead, if that isn't an unfair question?
We all did.
But mainly me. I was the hungriest.
I believe you prayed.
We all did. Before...
Please do go on if it's not too painful.
So, well, I had a pocket knife, and I went into the aeroplane, and I brought some back.
And what did you eat first?
I don't remember. I don't.
The baby gherkins.
Yeah, it was the baby gherkins.
And then the individual cheese portion. And then the ham. And it still had a little tin baby pear on it. And finally, the puddings.
And how did you feel after you'd eaten the airline food?
Awful. But it was our only chance,
I mean, we'd already eaten the other passengers.
Fielded by Richardson. And that brings it to 194 for 3. And 20 minutes.
Oh, no.
We regret to announce that Bernard Manning, the comedian who was warned by his doctors to lose 5 stones or die, has today lost 5 stones.
Good evening, sir. May I take your coat for you?
Please, yes.
Would you like me to take your jacket for you?
Yes, please.
The British Museum as being a rather dark and stuffy place that's full of mouldy old relics that don't mean anything to anybody. Well, the other day I went over there to find out if it was really true, and I made two new friends, Jean-Pierre and Hugo. Hugo, what do you think of the British Museum?
Well, it's an interesting building, isn't it? Its primary purpose is, of course, functional.
Right.
Really, it's a sort of large container of treasures rather than a treasure itself.
Right. Jean-Pierre, you seem not to agree with
Of course
me.
I don't agree. Who is this man? He is an insult to me.
Right, well, what do you think of the British Museum, then?
Me, I am disgusted by it, of course. Who is this man, Hugo? Its primary purpose is, of course, functional. What a load of willies! Its primary purpose is, of course, sexual. It is a massive assertion of the phallic power of London. These huge columns plunging into Mother Earth.
That's a rather unorthodox point of view, isn't it?
Unorthodox? Who would not be unorthodox in a country like this where everyone is so repressed? Prince Charles, he gets married in St. Paul's. This enormous titty. The biggest titty in the world. And who mentions it? No one. No one!
Well, if I may say so, I mean, anyone who's watching this is going to think that you're completely potty.
Putty? Of course I am putty. Who would not be a putty in a country where the Houses of Parliament are erected in the shadow of something called Big Ben that every hour says dong?
Aren't you just sex mad?
Who would not be sex mad in a country where they erect an enormous phallus in the centre of London and call it Nelson's Column? Nelson's Column? Pah! It is Nelson's Willy! That's what it is, Nelson's Willy! A huge, massive, private part, exposed to the air, penetrating the skies in the hope that the Union will produce another Nelson with another phenomenally large willy. And all people say the post office tower. The post office tower? Pah! It is the post office prick.
And I like to truck. I like trucking. I like trucking. On the road,
you must be brave and tireless.
on the road,
You can listen to the wireless.
on the road. You eat cafe food with pride. You can throw it outside.
The greatest kick in trucking, apart from knocking down a biker, is swinging up a roundabout and picking up a hiker. You're chatting up that piece of skirt who's sitting by your side. Then pop the crucial question:
A ride for a ride.
I like trucking, I like trucking, I like trucking, and I like to truck. I like trucking, if you don't like trucking, tough luck.
This is me, learning a lot in the army of the future. This is me too, driving a tank in tomorrow's army. It's a satisfying career with good prospects. You'll learn how to give orders, how to come out on top. In tomorrow's army, you work with the very latest technology. Above all, you'll see hundreds of different countries at first hand. So sign up with the army that's going places.
Same for me, yes, please. 2 points to Guinness. 2 points to Guinness. It's a little bit lively today, but I'll be. Yeah. So how have you been keeping anyway, Mister? Oh. I just have to let it sit. To begin with.
I'd like to welcome you aboard this Wallaby Airlines flight WA15 to Brisbane. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the flight you're on. We're now flying at 30,000 feet and we're doing approximately 520 knots. Oh my God. Number 2 engines failed. Massive depressurization. We're losing height, ladies and gentlemen. We're going down. We're going to die. No, but seriously, ladies, it gets pretty boring on these ones.
This summer, Mr. and Mrs. Watkins set off on holiday without paying their television licence. Around to regret it. The Gilbert family forgot to pay their licence too, so we sent them a little reminder on their wedding anniversary. It's no use running away. We're a large organisation and we've got plenty of time, as Mr. Aylett of Basildon found out. So get a licence. It's cheaper than a funeral.
Hundreds of chainsaws, thousands of bloodthirsty slant-eyed seamen, and only 3.5 whales left to go.
That was a clip of Soft Cell live on Whistle Test last year. And now for all the frustrated wimps around, we've got Mark in the studio tonight. Hello, Mark.
Hi there, Annie.
Now, Mark, I must ask the question on everybody's lips. When's the new album due out?
Yesterday. No, there's been a lot of hassle with the recording company. I wanted to bring out a single album.
But I wanted a double with some old live cabaret recordings to roll in, which would be a real rip-off.
Right.
So that's what we're doing.
And that is in fact what you're calling the album, isn't it? A real rip-off. You've received macho acclamo for Tainted Love, but lots of people in the music press have been saying that in fact you're a pretentious little jerk and that you sing out of tune and that in fact you have no control over anything you do. How would you answer that? Sorry?
Balance.
Right, well, thank you, Mark Orman.
This man is deaf. Unlike you or I, he cannot hear the phone ringing even though it's only 18 inches away from him.
That is until now, because a team of research students at Guy's Hospital have invented this device, the audio-visual sonic communication system with this, a microprocessor base. It enables a flashbulb suspended here to be connected to an aerial receiver here whenever the phone where the transmitter is housed begins to ring. So now, when this discrete accessory is worn, even a deaf person knows when the phone is ringing.
Is anyone there?
Pants. I just wanted to thank you for last night. You were sensational.
President-elect Ronald Reagan set the record straight for journalists today, telling them that when he spoke of Nancy Reagan, he was, of course, referring to his wife, not his son.
And the Vatican has again denied rumours that the Pope is suffering from bad eyesight. Meanwhile, His Holiness landed at Rome Airport, where he seemed to have some difficulty in locating the red carpet.
The American Space Agency, NASA, has started sending its trainee astronauts to Bruce Forsyth's one-man show in order to acclimatise them to a place which has no atmosphere.
Chestnuts of the world. Number 91, The Snug at the Old Red Lion.
Time, gentlemen, please! 25 past
8. Has Jimmy Chainsaw McPhee been in here tonight?
No.
What about Big Jock the Knee Cruncher?
No.
What about Stick the Boot in his head and ask questions later, McDonald?
No.
Hacksaw Haggerty the Hen Choker?
No.
Can I have a Campari and soda, please?
Fat, plump, obese, porky, wobble bottom. These are all terms of abuse that are constantly aimed at the overweight in our society. And tonight on the panel, we have representing the stout community, George Fletcher.
Hello.
And the Reverend John Tabbs Whiston, a stout Christian.
Good evening.
I'd like to start with you, George, if I may. Is stoutness as big a problem as you're making out?
Yeah, it's huge. And I'd like to start out by opening something up to the audience, if I can. Can I ask anybody in the audience who is stout, or who thinks he might be stout, to please raise his hand? Well, I think there it is in a nutshell. You see, stout people are afraid to stand up for fear that they might never find their feet in a society in which, for example, they are openly prodded onto trains, in which police, quite without provocation, break into stout snack bars and giggle openly, and in which they are surrounded by stoutest graffiti. And an obvious example is maximum load 8 persons.
So you feel like in fact the more fat people...
No, it's stout, it's stout.
Sorry,
it's stout. I'm sorry, but this is absolutely crucial, Jan. It's absolutely central. You see, we are not flabbies. We're not gut buckets. We're not pork features. We're not. And down these narrow streets a man must go. We are stout and we're proud.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we'll take our first question from the audience.
Yes. I'd like to ask the Reverend Whiston how far he would go to gain recognition for stouts. I'm thinking particularly of the recent cool box demonstrations.
Right.
Did you hear the gentleman?
Yes, indeed. Well, I think this is very much a matter for one's own conscience.
I mean, personally, one is not the sort of person who would go down one's high street dressed only in one's underpants, shouting, "Look at me, I'm enormous."
Yeah, but, John, that's exactly what you should be doing.
Oh, George!
Yeah, all right, well, I think there's a gentleman over there that may have something to add. Yeah.
I've been stout for some years now, and I'm fed up with the way the media portrays us as raving fatties.
He does have a very good point. I switched on radio the other day. I heard a joke. Orson Welles got on a speak your weight machine, and the machine said, "No coach parties, please." I'm sorry, but what is funny about that? I'm sorry.
Yes, what is funny about that? I mean, have you heard the one about the fat bishop and the choir boy?
No.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the point. I mean, fat people are funny.
That is a really stoutest remark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, we'll take the next question, please. I think it's Mr. Rogers over there. Yeah.
I have a friend who thinks he may be stout. What sort of advice can the panel give?
My advice to your friend will be absolutely straightforward. He must declare his stoutness now. He must squeeze out of the closet.
Yes, and I think there is a lot of help that can be given these days because the present stout counselling idea...
This is all crap!
Oh, no.
We've been sitting here listening to a load of wobbly...
It's Ron Miller. It's Ron Miller.
About the middle-class bullshit.
Introduce yourself, Ron. Introduce yourself. This is Ron Miller of the extremist group Flab, Fat Louts Against Bikinis.
Ron.
Look at Ron.
Shut. Listen, look at this Slimming magazine. Slimming magazine. This isn't a million miles from what Adolf Hitler was trying to do. We demand a fat prime minister, more obesity in the media, the banning of the word ample. We want the force feeding of skinny.
Ron, you're doing the movement more harm than good.
Where was the Reverend Whiston at Notting Hill Gate in '79 during the worst flab riots this country's ever seen?
I hardly think this is
organising plump discos, I expect.
Listen, Ron, I'm sorry to be personal, but I mean, you're talking about stoutism. You're not stout. You're not even overweight. In fact, you're skinny.
I you have to be fat to be stout now, dear.
Vin Paul.
I don't have to take that from you, you great waffle.
But tell them keep you cool, that's how you get the chicks to drool. If you wanna have a
I'm afraid, Mr. Butcher, I have some very bad news for you. We've run some tests, and you're definitely suffering from an advanced pulmonary cancer.
It's God bless America, Mr. President.
God bless America.
My bottle of pills.
Where is the bottle? In the drawer? In your pocket?
In my throat.
Oh.
2 minutes, please.
Yeah.
1 minute, please.
But on a more serious note,
on the 28th of January, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson from Harrow-on-the-Weald went into their local electricity board showroom to buy a new fridge freezer.
They paid cash for it, and within 4 days it was installed and took pride of place in their kitchen.
All went well for a couple of weeks.
The milk was cold.
The food stayed fresh.
And even the light worked when you opened the door.
But then the trouble started.
On February the 19th, the Robinson's 7-year-old son, George, got an attack of appendicitis and had to be rushed to hospital.
They rang the electricity board, who responded,
This has got nothing to do with us.
The Robinsons left it at that, but this incident was just the tip of the iceberg.
Just 2 days after this, on the 17th, a freak typhoon ripped off a whole side of their house, 79 Latchmere Road.
Well, naturally upset by this, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson had a quarrel, which ended in Mr. Robinson savagely pushing his wife through a plate glass window.
On both occasions, they contacted the electricity board, and on both occasions, they were told,
I'm sorry, this really has got nothing to do with us.
It was then that things began to go seriously wrong.
Mr. Robinson ran his car into a bus queue and was shot by a police marksman.
Mrs. Robinson was attacked by a killer whale.
Mr. Robinson's mother was hit by a meteorite.
Prince Philip exploded.
And I was arrested on the street and charged with causing an obstruction. It was then that we contacted the electricity board. The unknown who answered the phone seemed rather confused. He said,
I'm sorry, this really has got nothing to do with us.
Cereal.
I'm indebted to a gentleman from Swansea who wrote to tell me that his television entertainment is constantly ruined by the appearance of a camp old twat who continuously reads his appalling drivel over the air. Well, all I've got to say to you is this has nothing to do with me.
Hello and welcome to badminton, where a large crowd is enjoying itself with the full expectation of seeing a gang of horsey snobs falling slap in the mire, getting filthy, and making fools of themselves in public.
Straight away over to the trout hatchery. Lucinda Pryor Palmer approaching, so fingers crossed. Yes. I can assure those of you at home that a good half-gallon of dirty water has just shot straight up that upper-class hyphenated nose. I speak for everyone when I say, serves you right, Miss Hoity-Toity, and Roberta Flavel James. And she's coming up, trout hatchery again, and... Terrific! I really think she may have hurt herself quite badly too, judging from the way the crowd is laughing. So now that we moved on to watch riders over the more simple fences, we're not going to, because it's not really as much fun as watching pompous knobs flopping about in mucky ditches. Lemon Barnes, Markham, will he get a mouthful? Yes. Interesting to think, isn't it, just what previous horses would have deposited in the water. And another one, whoopsie-daisy there, mate. And another one. Well, dear, we're having a bit of fun here today. And just in a minute, I think it's the moment. Yes, here we are. It's the moment that everyone who hates rich people and horses has been waiting for. It's Princess Anne herself, approaching the trout hatchery. And wouldn't it be wonderful if she prized us all and rode straight into a tree instead? And... yes, she has!
grub, didn't you?
The National Institute for Canine Studies have dismissed as ridiculous the idea that some dog owners eventually start to look like their pets.
A shock announcement today. Mr. Roy Jenkins told reporters that he was leaving politics to play Jiminy Cricket in the remake of Pinocchio.
Hello. Hello. This week, we're going to take a look at origami, aren't we, Rowan?
That's right, Mel, which is the ancient Japanese art of paper folding.
And I'll just start here.
And Mel's just starting.
You can use absolutely any kind of any kind of paper for this. You can use
this is an old Radio Times, for instance. This, which
Radio
is
Times.
Just any old bit of paper.
And I'm just folding. You see, like this.
Folding it again over.
It's very, very simple.
It's very, very simple. It's an ancient Japanese art dating from centuries ago.
Now, if I make a tear like this and another tear like that. Now, you can do this on your own, but if there are two of you, then it probably will help.
I'll get hold of it.
Now, we just have a pull there. That's it. That's it. And you see, now there we have a very nice hat.
Here's a little bracelet.
And here we have a nice pair of earrings.
And of course, a moustache.
You want to see me, sir?
Ah, Constable Savage. Come in, shut the door.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Savage. I want to talk to you about some charges that you've been bringing lately. I think that perhaps you're being a little overzealous.
Which charge did you mean, then, sir?
Well, for instance, this one. Loitering with intent to use a pedestrian crossing. Savage, maybe you're not aware of this, but it is not illegal to use a pedestrian crossing. Neither is smelling of foreign food an offence.
You sure, sir?
Also, there is no law against urinating in a public convenience or coughing without due care and attention.
If you say so, sir.
Yes, I do say so, Savage. Didn't they teach you anything at training school?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Some of these cases are just plain stupid. Looking at me in a funny way. Is this some kind of joke, Savage?
No, sir.
And we have some more here. Walking on the cracks in the pavement. Walking in a loud shirt in a built-up area during the hours of darkness. And walking around with an offensive wife. In short, Savage, in the space of 1 month, you have brought 117 ridiculous, trumped-up and ludicrous charges.
Yes, sir.
Against the same man.
Yes, sir.
A Mr. Winston Kodogo of 55 Mercer Road.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, Savage.
Yes, sir.
Savage, why do you keep arresting this man?
He's a villain, sir.
A villain?
And a jailbird, sir.
I know he's a jailbird, Savage. He's down in the cells now. We're holding him on a charge of possession of curly black hair and thick lips.
Well, there you are, sir.
You arrested him, Savage.
Thank you, sir.
Savage, would I be correct in assuming that Mr. Kodogo is a coloured gentleman?
Well, I can't say I've ever noticed, sir.
up, Savage. Savage, you're a bigot. It's officers like you that give the police a bad name. The press love to jump on incidents like this, and the reputation of the force can be permanently tarnished. Your time on duty is dominated by racial hatred and petty personal vendettas. Do you get some kind of perverted gratification from going around stirring up trouble?
Yes, sir.
There's no room for men like you in my force, Savage. I'm transferring you to the SPG.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now get out!
Sorry, sir.
Oh, and
Sorry, sir, it's your hedgehog, sir.
All right, Pogsy. Been up to your old tricks again, have you? Well, you know the form. You can make one phone call, so hurry up and make it.
Three 521, hello?
A man was arrested today on suspicion of stealing the Queen's handbag. He was later released after she failed to pick him out at an identity parade. And members of the voluntary euthanasia society Exit today went on their annual outing to Morecambe.
You can go through now, Mr. Wiblet.
I believe that life is happy and death is sad. I believe my mom was married to my dad. I believe that things that aren't good tend to be bad. I believe, yes I believe.
I'm prepared to believe that Nixon wasn't a crook.
I'm prepared to believe love stories a readable book.
I believe that the dirty dozen weren't really dirty.
I believe that Lucille Ball's still under 30.
Yes, I believe Joe Ford is clever.
That Bob Hope will live forever.
And that lever is pronounced lever. And the best film ever made is Saturday Night Fever. And to say Colonel Sanders can fry, and that pigs and even DC-10s can fly.
I'm prepared to believe that things go better with Coke.
And that the Ayatollah tells a darn good knock-knock joke.
I believe some folk can hear what Bugs Bunny is saying, and that Salt Lake City's a real nice place to stay in. I believe that JR really loves Sue Ellen. I believe that things sound better when you're yelling. And I believe that the devil is ready to repent. But I can't believe Ronald Reagan is president.
Tonight on I Believe, we continue our look at wider Christian issues and ask the question, the devil, is he all bad?
I feel in a sense that the devil's had a very bad press, you know? After all, what is bad? Here we are in Lambeth, you know? I think modern Christians should have a bit less of the get thee behind me, Satan, and more of the come in me, old mate, and have a cup of tea. John?
Reverend Mountjoy is an Anglican priest who sympathizes with the plight of diabolists, devil worshippers, who find it difficult to gain acceptance in a Christian world.
I
I don't think there is a problem, really.
Well, murdering.
Well, yes, except for the murdering. That can make it easy to understand. And, if you get an exceptionally difficult...
Goat.
Goat or...
Or rocks.
Yes. Well, of course, you see, then it can make a noise. But you see, the modern-day diabolist, I mean, we're not really mumbo-jumbo Dennis Wheatley types, really.
It's more up to date.
Exactly.
Coffee mornings.
Yes, and bring and buy sales and that sort of thing.
Bring and buy sales?
Yeah, when I say bring and buy sales, it's more sort of murdering, actually.
Virgins.
Well, yes, rape, coffee.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is a virgin? I've never met one. no, but seriously. Yeah, I think cautiously I would approve of sacrificing the odd virgin. Fair enough.
But what exactly do devil worshippers believe?
Well, we believe that Satan, the Prince of Darkness, is Lord of the universe and will destroy Jesus through infernal power.
Yeah, obviously, this is a difficult one. It's a theological grey area. But I think we should keep a broad outlook. After all, intrinsically, the roots of all religions are the same. Buddhism, for example, is hardly any different from Christianity. And Muslims are exactly the same as Christians, only with more money.
So just how many of these people are secret diabolists? And what form does their worship take?
Well, every full moon we do go up to the heath at midnight and we do strip ourselves completely naked. And we ravish each other passionately until dawn.
And this helps summon up the forces of evil, does it?
Who cares?
But how long before people like George and Fiona are accepted by the church?
Bound to happen. In my opinion, it won't be too long before devil worshippers are accepted into the priesthood. Some people are going to oppose it. The Pope, I think, is probably anti, but it's on the cards. Yeah.
Do you think you will finally become accepted into the church?
I couldn't give a toss.
USSR, and the search goes on for the prankster who put superglue in President Brezhnev's hat.
The Middle East and the Israelis today began the handover of the Sinai Desert to Egypt.
And how's business, Mr. Bazooki?
Oh, it is very well, thank you.
Good. Well, let's get on with the examination, shall we? If you could just stand up and drop your trousers for me.
Oh, yes. Would you like me to cough?
No, just tell me the number of your Swiss bank account.
That my client is completely innocent of the charges of theft for which he stands accused. In evidence, I will produce receipts given to me by my client as definite proof of purchase for the 3 articles allegedly stolen. This one for the digital watch, this one...
Digital watch? What on earth is a digital watch?
Sorry, my lord, a digital watch, it's a watch worked by microelectronics.
How fascinating. Proceed.
Thank you, my lord. I will also be producing a receipt for the automatic video recorder, which I...
Automatic video?
Yes, they're quite popular these days, my lord. It's a machine that records television programs on special tape.
How fascinating. What will they think of next? Proceed.
Thank you, my lord. And finally, I will produce in this court a receipt for my client's deluxe model inflatable woman, whatever that is.
The deluxe is the one with the real hair and the light like the picture.
And felt it. And it's an experience I shall never forget.
Mrs. Thatcher took time out today to present her personal congratulations to Britain's 3 millionth unemployed man.
The editor of the Daily Star has apologised to Her Majesty the Queen for the way she was jostled at the airport by some of his reporters. At a press conference today, Mr. Cyril Smith demonstrated a new skill he has developed during the summer recess. He can now pick his nose from the inside.
2 12s, please. 24.
I buy the Daily Telegraph because it doesn't try to tell me what to think. It just reports the news.
I buy the Daily Express because it informs me quickly, tells me what's going on, and lets me get on with my job.
I read the Financial Times because I've got a pink bathroom.